Okay, strap yourself in because we are pissed. We're pissed at that crazy dog killer. We're pissed at the politicians who are coming for our Social Security. And of course, we're pissed at anyone who isn't lucky enough to be a boomer. So here we go. Welcome to Old People This Week. I am Jeff, and those two, that's Mike, of course, a.k.a. Whiz Bang, and Paul. Yeah, say something, Paul, there.
Gotcha.
AKA Icy Roads, both of them members of the world-famous band, the Jock Rockers. Here's a little video. Mike, explain to me, how the hell does that guy not keep himself from having to go to the hospital every time he performs?
That's just a pelvic thrust exercise that is accompanied by music. Just keeps you young, you know.
They call those Kegels, I think.
Something.
That's all it is.
Yeah, Kegels. Here, hang on a second. Valerie comes sneaking around here to see what I'm up to. We are your hosts. We are boomers. We are great. We will chapter and verse you this week about all the things boomified that you will need to know so you'll sound smart this weekend when you're out with your friends at Denny's for the early bird dinner. Now for me, I go to Denny's for breakfast and I get the meal called the Moon Over My Hammy. Eggs and ham. It's good. All right, now let's get to it. Of all boxers that were great, were all baby boomers.
Yeah.
Baby boomers had the greatest
Whole
boxers.
generation.
There's no question about that.
Absolutely.
And maybe the greatest of all the great boomer boxers was the great George Foreman. Mike, so what the hell happened?
Well, life caught up with him. He passed away at 76. He had a terrific life. I mean, he first started boxing when he was 16 years old. Went to the Olympics when he was 19, won the gold medal. And 1973 won the world heavyweight title. And then promptly lost it the next year to Muhammad Ali at the probably the most famous fight ever in the history of boxing, the Rumble in the Jungle, which was held in Zaire.
Yeah.
And then apparently went through some financial difficulties, and he came back to boxing in 1994 and won the title again. He knocked out Michael Moore. I mean,
he's 45 years old.
Yeah.
45 years old, winning the title.
And then
amazing.
of course, went on to become a multi-millionaire, selling
Good for him.
selling a barbecue grill. And
I use those grills. The problem with them is you put some piece of meat in there and then close that lid and the grease would come rolling out of there.
Yeah. But then he had time to father 12 children, 5 boys, named them all George.
I know.
I love that story. He said he got tired of people asking him what his kids' names were. So he used.
Can you imagine that dinner table? 12 kids, 7 girls, 5 boys, all named George. Like, pass the.
Yeah, how would you get anyone's
bread.
attention?
No, you just. I don't know. That's the crazy thing. But also, did you read about his garage?
Yeah, he had like a 60-car garage, huge house.
Cool.
Yeah.
There was an aerial shot of his place in Texas, and I'm not kidding you. He has a huge mansion, but the garage was almost as big.
Yeah.
It was enormous.
Yeah.
All right, God bless him.
Yeah.
Goodbye, George.
Yeah.
Sorry to see you go. You were a good man, though you got the old beat down from Ali doing the rope-a-dope there in Zaire.
Yeah.
But he had and such a great personality too. I mean, that was the whole reason.
He was a
It's
funny
like
guy.
he's a funny guy.
Yeah.
You know, he's got the same skill set and the personality as Charles Barkley does. You know what I mean? Just entertaining as all get out.
Yeah, Barkley looks like he dined on a few burgers in his time.
You go tell him that.
Yeah, right.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, a special report here. Paul got picked up for speeding. You know why? He was heading over to Costco to get the new turkey and provolone sandwich that's back after 5 years. I know you've had it, Paul. Don't even try to play it off.
I have not actually. I'll have to experience this. It's like, I've been a hot dog and soda person all these years.
Well, this thing is back. It's and the only thing they changed now, is that instead of basil pesto sauce, it now has basil garlic mayonnaise.
Ooh,
And there you
a
go.
few more 100 fat grams in there.
What was I going to say? Oh, yeah, now for the worst news of the week, and
Yeah.
featuring the worst human being of the year so far. That is, of course, a Florida woman, by the way. Her name is Allison Agatha Lawrence. And let me quickly tell you Allison's story. She is going to fly somewhere out of the Orlando airport, shows up with her dog, gets there and finds out that she can't bring the dog on board because she didn't sign the right paperwork or didn't have the right paperwork, whatever. So instead of a million things that she could have done, which is to return the dog home or give it to someone else or just take it later, for whatever, she decides, she takes the dog into the women's restroom and drowns it.
Jesus Christ. It's unimaginable. In the picture of the little dog, he was a cute little guy. I just can't figure the depths of inhumanity.
Even if you, if you're there and you want to get on the fight, I get it, but you could have, even if you had left the dog just to run around and got on the fight, if someone would have,
Oh, someone would have adopted it.
Put a note on her collar and tie her to a stand somewhere.
Anything.
God.
But can you imagine how heartless you have to be to stick a dog's head in the toilet and start drowning it?
No, it's mind-boggling.
They didn't catch her that day. This was an investigation that went on for a while, and they figured it out. And then they went and arrested her. Now that's why this news report was now, and they're holding her on $5,000 bail money, I guess, in Orlando jail. But hopefully she gets, I don't know what the proper penalty is, but life is not too good, not bad enough for her.
I got to tell you, it's like I've had working at the airport, even in Los Angeles at LAX, the number one thing we did not ever transport reptiles. There's a thing in place not to, transport, and people would have these baby pet tortoises, like turtles, and they would leave them at the counter. And I cannot tell you how many turtles I brought home and gave to the neighborhood kids. And those things stunk like all get out. They might be small, but man, they carry you really have to wash them and clean them off. But anyways, I took the turtles, and I was telling Mike earlier in the week in the story that a guy went for an interview and he brought I think it was a bulldog in the picture, I can't remember, but he was going for an interview in San Jose, and he brought the dog. He's like, "Oh, I was just going to take it." And I'm like, again, problem of no paperwork, right? You can't transport the dog. And so he said, "Well, I'm just going for the day." I said, "What time are you going to come back? You back at 6?" And he goes, "Yeah." And so I said, "I'll take the dog." And I just locked it up in the office and kept it at the airport. He came back at 6 and took the dog, and he apologized. And I said, "No problem. Glad we could help out."
Well, a turtle is a reptile?
Yeah.
And they stink, huh?
These little baby ones did, yeah. People would bring them back. People would bring them back from Asia, and then they would go on to a domestic flight, and there's a lot of transfers that went on, and they'd bring them in like little, like a little kid's pet container, something kids would have. And I think in total I had like about 6. Yeah.
No, Mike, you sent me a story once about some guy trying to transport an illegal tortoise in his pants on some flight.
A bunch of them, remember?
Not and the one that took the all-time record, a guy sat in a trans-Pacific flight for 16 hours with 36 turtles in his crotch.
That's like that drummer at the beginning of the show here.
No, it was until he went through CBP and what's that in your pants? And then all of a sudden.
Is that a banana?
Is that a tortoise? You're just happy to see
me.
It writes itself.
Oh, God.
Writes it. The good stuff always does. Oh, my God, a tortoise. And they're stinky, though. That's what gets me. Oh, my God. All right. Here's my beef here. The first beef rant of the day. If that idiot, Elon Musk, comes after my Social Security, I'm going to fly to Washington and kick his stupid ass out around the Lincoln Memorial. And again, Mike and I and Paul, we don't do this show to talk about politics. It's not worth it. But Social Security is something else. This is what Mike and I and Paul, we live on this. People out there, you really want to see Mike and I sitting in front of the happy hour bar with little tin cups waiting to, get enough money saved so we can go in?
Yeah.
At least I can sing.
No, you can't.
You'll never
No, you
find
can't.
another love
You will
like
starve.
mine.
You will
And
starve
people
when you're
will,
singing.
people will give me money.
Yeah, to
But Mike,
stop.
you're dead
They'll
out
give
of
you
luck.
money to stop singing.
They'll give you money to do something about that head of yours. Get that new hairdo.
God, here we
They'll
go
pay
again.
you
Look
off.
at this now. This is
You know,
perfection. This is absolute perfection. And look at you. Honest to God, you look like a guy who lives out of a shopping cart under a highway overpass with that hair.
Wow.
I mean,
We're
that's
going to do this.
frightening.
I swear to God, I'm going to bring a couple of tin cups. We'll go sit out in front of the bar. You know which one, and we'll see who makes the most money.
Okay.
All right. All right.
That's what I was going to suggest. You two should get out there on the I-10 and try it out.
No, we're not doing it out of the I-10. It's dangerous. We'll do it right in the old
Town.
confines of our little town where there's a nice little bar that we hang out at. All right. So I'm I'm looking for headlines and just to rip on and talk about, and I came across this one, and it was from this woman who's clearly a millennial or Gen Xer, and she goes, "In giving a Nobel Prize to Bob Dylan, baby boomer male backslapping has officially reached its nadir." And I thought, okay, here's somebody else ripping on boomers and ripping on Dylan. But then I read her first article, and bottom line is that she simply doesn't like Bob Dylan. And she said, "I've tried to find Dylan godly, really tried, but to the unloving ear, he sounds like a man with a bronchial infection arduously describing his favorite commute." She likes Dylan's singing like I like Kevin Costner's acting, which is not at all.
So bad.
Oh,
bad.
man.
That Mike,
that
defend that
coupled-
fool Costner.
That coupled with your affliction with Christy Brinkley is the whole package. It's just
Yeah. If Christy Brinkley saw me sitting out there with a tin cup, she'd probably put $10,000 in it,
yeah,
because I'm so good looking and I like her.
yeah. I'm taking Heidi Klum to dinner any night.
Was she the one married to Seal?
Yeah.
Yeah.
A kiss on a rose. I can almost sing
No,
that
you
song
can't.
too.
You can't almost sing anything.
Hey, how did Billy Joel go through unscathed in this conversation?
Yeah, I'm sorry, I forgot about him. Yeah. I wouldn't put a nickel in that fool's cup if he was singing out in front of a bar. All right. Here's my rant number 2. Again, another headline I'm looking at. And this guy is writing about the housing world has become a bit of a generational war zone, mostly between baby boomers and millennials.
Yeah.
And here was his point. Baby boomers make up more than a third of all homeowners, and more than half don't even have a mortgage. Thank you very much. We worked hard. We paid off our darn mortgage. So this guy says, in our current environment where mortgage rates are skyrocketed from historic lows through the pandemic to a more than 2-decade high in October 23, being mortgage-free is like hitting the mother lode. It's partly why boomers aren't moving, because why give up no mortgage rate or a substantially lower one for one that's 6 to 7% plus a high monthly payment? Yes, no kidding. That's exactly the point. Don't blame us because we don't want to. You think we're stupid? We're boomers. We're smarter than everyone else. I told my kids, I go, I'm going to live in this house. My house is not mortgage free because we didn't get it till just a few years ago, but they can have it when I die. And by the way, the good news, all you millennial, Gen Xers, Gen Zers, Gen Alphas, we are millennials. Boomers are going to die. That's the one thing we can't stave off. And then you'll get our houses, you grubbing fools. Just wait.
That'll be the subject of my next 52 tasks, is the things my father left when he died.
Did he leave you?
Yeah.
Did he leave you anything?
Oh, crud. The list.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Good. I hear that. That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, millennials, just calm down. You'll get them soon enough. All right. We got the comment of the week. We get a lot of comments now, so I'm not going to be able to read every one of them every week, but we did get one. Remember we were talking about in the Gene Hackman story, he passed away, and our question was, why a guy who's as wealthy as he was, with 3 kids, with an infrastructure like a
Yeah.
management and agent, and
Yeah.
da, da, da. And plus there was a significant other who must have had some family somewhere. Nobody checked in on these people, and they just die in the most weird, terrible way ever. And so this guy wrote in concerning that. He said, "I tease my son and daughter-in-law that they need to check in on me more frequently. I'm pretty independent and like my privacy, but I tease the kids that I'll be dead for 7 to 10 days before they find me."
Yeah.
I go, "Yeah, of course. Yeah, you have to have somebody check in. You need some kind of a backup in case, when you get older. Just went in. I'm backup Mike, sort of."
Kind of.
Listen, if something happened to Mike, there were 5 or 6 bartenders in this town that would put up such an alarm, clamor.
Oh, man.
They'd be going, "Where? He hasn't appeared in the bar in 2 or 3 days. Where is
There'd
he?"
be a
They'd go out and check his house.
public procession around around Old Town.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Yeah, at any rate, so yes, people, the reason I read that comment is to remind everybody you need somebody checking in on you. Don't be Gene Hackman and just have your wife die of rat feces and then you fall over and die yourself a week later. It's just
But-
terrible.
When you think about it, it really does make sense that, I mean, how many people do we all interact with on a daily or a weekly? I mean, I could see it being a week. You know what I mean? It's like it could take some time. I mean, there just aren't that many people coming by.
Paul, listen, we're going to have to set up a phone tree so we can stay in touch with you, especially if that significant others of yours are going to Korea for months at a time. Who knows what could happen to you? Those dogs.
Yeah.
Yeah, just check on me occasionally, will you?
I'll check on you. All right, I got a question from somebody. It's a viewer, but they didn't write in. They actually saw me and talked to me, and they said, they go, "You didn't really know Anna Nicole Smith, did you?" And I said, "Yeah, I did. I'm about to prove it here. I'm going to show you a picture of this right here."
Yeah, you had a picture. Yeah,
Right there.
yeah. That's when you had hair.
I have tons of hair there, and a big smile on my face too, by the way.
Yeah, why wouldn't
It's
you?
Anna Nicole. She had the biggest hands of any woman I've ever known.
She was a
She
big
could literally
woman.
palm my head with those.
She was a big woman in general, wasn't she?
Oh, she was the best.
Yeah.
Just to tell you, that's the quick story. That picture was taken at the party for the debut of the Anna Nicole Show on E! Entertainment Television in August of 2002. And we were at a burlesque club, and she was sitting right there around a table on the big round table, and everybody around her was a friend of her or her lawyer or somebody. And I approached the table from the other side, and it was a big round table, and she's literally as far away as she could be. And I'm trying to talk over the table to her, but there's a lot of music in this club and stuff. So I'm leaning over, and I'm going, "Anna, hey, how's it going? You having fun?" She reached over there with those big ass hands of hers, grabbed me like by the ears, pulled me over the table. She was so strong.
Oh, my God.
And she goes, "Oh, we're having fun." And I'm going, "Anna, let go of me." She was a brute. Yeah, she was big.
That's what's wrong with your hair. She
She
screwed
pulled out
up-
half of it.
Screwed up all your hair follicles.
I told my wife that this haircut, that cut looked like George Clooney used to wear it. His haircut, I like that, such straightforward. Called it my Clooney look. Unfortunately, didn't really work. Oh my gosh! All right, we get to Hannah. All right, Mike and Paul. Important question: do you guys pee outside?
Sure.
Only the dogs.
I do it every day. So it's a good thing.
Born on a
Everybody should
ranch,
do it.
hunting and fishing. Work at a golf course. Of course.
I could see you on that golf course sneaking around the
Yeah,
sand
everybody
traps.
does.
Yeah.
Everybody does.
All right. All right, Mike, or Paul too. Do you know this name, Maureen Flowers? You know who she is?
No.
Nope.
You probably don't know her by Maureen Flowers, but you'll know her by this name, Granny Guns.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. She can
Granny Guns.
outlift
Granny
me.
Guns. Granny Guns is 68 years old, and she is a social media sensation because of her workouts.
Yeah.
She literally goes to the gym and works out like a crazy woman, and it's got these huge biceps, kind of like my bicep right there.
No. Oh, God.
Yeah, baby.
Now I'm not going to eat dinner.
Those are what's called guns, Granny. I'll Granny gun her any day. When she was 58 years old, she started walking up a hill or something and got so tired she almost passed out. And she decided that she needed to, start working out, get in shape. And now, 10 years later, she's all over TikTok and Instagram.
This grandma is 65 years old and her biceps and quadriceps are as solid as a rock. Her arms of steel are so strong that she could easily lift you.
Yeah, you can bounce a quarter off of those biceps.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can bounce anything off your bicep. It would stick to it.
Comfort.
Mine, you can bounce. I could bounce things all over
no.
those guns.
Don't do that.
All right, I got another reason I should say, to hate Gen Z. Okay, Targets. Now, Target stores are for boomers. They were made by boomers. They're made for boomers. They got boomers standing in front of them as greeters. They sell boomer clothes, baggy pants and stuff that you can fit into. But Target is a great store. And if they're in a mall, it's all the better, because then we can walk around the mall and have some ice cream. We can, exercise, and then we can go to Target. Well, guess what? Gen Z kids are coming into these malls and they're acting out, they're fighting, they're just getting into all kind of trouble, to the point now where this Target in Brooklyn has had to make a rule that can't come in there if you're under 18 without adult supervision.
Fabulous.
Yeah.
And that'll be the only time they've had adult supervision in their whole damn life. That's why they're little idiots running around tearing shit up in the first place.
Dozens of police officers swarming Bayside Marketplace tonight.
That's where we find Local 10 crime specialist Bridget Matter live with what sparked this chaotic scene. Bridget.
This all started, according to police, with some sort of fight between juvenile groups that were armed with sticks. We're also told by witnesses that fireworks were thrown at each other, and we have seen that here on the ground as well. Kids are throwing fireworks into the air.
But when they talked to this girl, she was 15 years old, her name was Kayla. They said, what do you think about the age requirements? And she said, they're dumb and just stupid.
Yeah, oh, well, there's the American educational system at work.
Yeah.
A real cohesive, pointed sentence that was. Good Lord.
Well, if that didn't piss me off, this next story did. Here, check this out. Young workers have started to take mini retirement breaks from their careers in a massive shakeup from their older predecessors. Who's that? Us, of course. The new work trend driven by Gen Z and millennials involve several breaks sprinkled across their professional lives to capitalize on their youth and avoid burnout. Here's her argument. This Liz is her name. She said, I'm not the only person terrified of going to an office every single day with 2 weeks of vacation per year and then retiring at 65 and having to fit decades worth of living into your life. Now, on the surface of it, it kind of makes sense. Okay, I get it. But to me, that just says you're in the wrong career. You clearly don't, you have to find something to do in your life that you at least have a modicum of interest in and you want to be there, or yes, every day is going to be hell.
Well, and it also, excuse me, Paul, but it also presumes that that when you're not at work, aka the evenings or the weekends, that you have no interests, you have no friends to do things with.
Right.
I mean, it's so pathetic. It just drives me crazy.
Well, what kind of career is going to, if you go into your boss's office and say, you know what, I'm going to take a mini retirement, I'll see you in a year or so.
Bye.
There's so many that have a lack of ambition. You just ask, what is it like this could be a temporary position to stepping into something else, but they have no, I can say like, I'm going to do this to the max, I'm going to write it all the way out, and just continue doing this. It's like, buddy, there's something, called AI coming down the road, and potential reality is this job is not going to exist in 10 years.
Jeff and I have a neighbor, Rick, who had one job his entire life. He worked at a Budweiser brewery. He had one job, and he just recently retired. He's basically our age, but that's the only job he ever had. I worked for Levi for a number of years and then struck out on my own to do the entrepreneurial stuff. But, I mean, working for major corporations and having a career, that was our thing. That was our generational thing.
Rick was not going to go into his boss's office and say, I need to take a mini retirement because I'm tired
Yeah.
of working in the brewery for the next, I'll be back in a year. They would have fired him on the spot.
I always remind people that quality of life encompasses what you do at work too.
Sure.
That's part of life.
Yeah, if you enjoy what you're doing, then you're not going to work every day. I mean,
That's what I said at the beginning of this. That you can't. The part of the fallacy of her argument is that she is clearly not happy with what she's doing. So that's
Right.
anyway. Yeah, that's too bad. It's
Well, I remember back when I first left Levi and started my own apparel company, and we lucked out and it was a huge hit immediately. But we were hiring these young people out of fashion design school, and one of their first questions was, "Well, how long do I have to work before I vest for my pension?" And it was
what
like,
did you say?
wrong
Would you say,
job.
"Get the hell out of here"? Yeah.
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 I see the pants that you design. Flare. You're probably the guy who invented flared out jeans for the 70s.
Keep it up. Keep it up.
Keep it up. Anyway, okay. What else was I going to say? Oh, I got you. I'm going to get you a gift, Mike. I missed your birthday this year, but so Christmas time you can expect to see this underneath the tree. Because you were such a hippie, this is going to make you all happy when you see this particular thing. Look at it.
It's a brand new car.
It's a brand new car. And you look so good in it, Mike, tooling around town and that.
Oh, man. It won't fit in my garage.
Oh, please. All right, overrated things. See if you guys agree with me on these things that I think are overrated. Because I was reading about them, and people said you should turn your hobby into your business. That's stupid.
Bullshit.
Don't turn your hobby into a business. If you turn your hobby into a business, it's not a hobby anymore, by the way.
No.
It's work, and you're going to have to work and get involved in it. It's a business, and you'll hate it after a while.
Yeah.
So don't do that. It's stupid. Overrated things. Number 2, Stanley mugs. Mike and I have we've covered this thing now for months. It was the dumbest fad of all time, and this is why why boomers are basically more superior to other generations. We don't fall for that stuff.
Yeah.
Though Mike did have a chia pet in his house.
Right next to my thermos.
The things that are overrated are IPAs, the beers that these
horrible.
other generations drink. Man, I'd give anything for a Stroh's beer or just a plain Bud, but don't hand me one of those IPAs. They taste like crap. They got funny names.
Yeah.
And afterwards, you got this aftertaste in your mouth. You're like, I want to spit it out.
Yeah.
It's terrible. And they go on and on about it.
Oh, shit. I mean,
Even my own kids do.
all these beer bars, I mean, all the shit they make, and all of it's got a different flavor and a different name.
And it's so gross.
Number 4, overrated cruises. You're not going to get me on a boat on any
Nope.
cruise for any reason. Quit
Nope.
filling my mailbox with ads for cruises. I'm not going to Alaska for any reason, let alone on a boat and with strangers. And
3,000
cruises are
strangers. 3,000 strangers in a confined space.
Jeff, I just got to say, if you ended up on a cruise ship, I could just see you making your way around and Val going, "Come on, Jeff, it'll be fun. Come to the deck."
I won't be the deck. I'll be at the bar. Or I have thrown myself overboard the first time I see some of these people acting.
You'll be like a character from White Lotus. That's what you'd be.
Oh, don't bring up that show. That show just does nothing but piss me off. With the frontal nudity, I'm still scarred from seeing it.
Go on.
All right. Then, I don't want to get COVID again, because that's all those boats have. They get COVID on them.
True.
And then all you can drink. Paul, I'll tell you something. You don't have to go. If you don't want to go on a cruise, go to Paul's house. You got plenty of liquor there. You can drink for free, all from Costco. All right. Number 5 things that are overrated. Number 5, of course, is the one and only Crocs. Crocs are the most overrated, silly-ass invention in the history of shoe wear. Yeah. And Mike's got 20 pair of them.
I collect them. It's a
struggle. And you buy those little things that
it's
go
a
on
struggle every day to decide which ones I'm going to wear to detail my car. I mean, could I wear the camo, or should I wear the smiley face, or which one should I wear?
We should get a P.O. box for the show and disclose Mike's Crocs shoe size and see how many he actually gets in 10, you know? So
If you have, Mike, if you would take a videotape of that room in your house that you have all those 50 pairs of Crocs and send it so I can show it, that would be great.
I don't know any satellite imagery of my Croc collection.
Croc collection. All right, and the last one is overrated foods that are made out of cauliflower. Get some real food. Go to the Costco food court. Get yourself a 18-inch hot dog and slather on ketchup, mustard, relish, and everything else, and have it with the Paul. You eat that ice cream that you love there.
Yeah.
Have a big Coke, big gulp Coke, and just kill yourself eating there. But don't eat foods made out of cauliflower.
Well, or fix the cauliflower the right way. I mean, slice a cauliflower steak, drench it in olive oil, a little salt and pepper, and put it on the grill. They're delicious.
Really?
Yeah.
I like cauliflower soup, actually. It's good.
Soup?
Soup. Yeah, cauliflower soup.
What, from Campbell's?
No, it's like we make it, make it at home here.
Oh, all right, that's cool. You have to get your recipe. Just
Okay.
Put it on the air. Get some video of yourself making some food. We'll do a recipe section here. Let you show us how to make cauliflower soup.
There you go.
All right. The last thing today, of course, it took place in Florida. Where else? And I had promised Jake, who helps out on this show, that I wouldn't finish each show with some dumb Florida story, but I can't help it with this one.
Why would you make
This
that
guy-
promise to Jake? That was our deal.
Yeah.
He didn't like it?
Yeah. No, he says that it's just me telling these dumb stories, and it doesn't go anywhere. And I don't care.
That's
It's just
all right.
I like talking.
We
about
like him.
it. Yeah, I like him. Too bad.
Yeah. Jake, I was just about to get you a free ticket back out here so we could have some cocktails again, but don't be tramping down on our Florida stories.
We need to get him back out here. But I'd have to pay for it. So no,
Of course you
no
would.
way. Yeah. So that's Friday. This guy named Dan Lorick confronted his neighbor. But he didn't know him, but I'll tell you why. Because a few weeks earlier, Lauren was out standing on the edge of his street waiting for a bus or something. At the edge of it, it's raining, and he's standing near a puddle. And this guy, Jeffrey Koshin, comes driving by, probably laughing his butt off, and just splatters the water all over poor Dan. Just soaks him. So this now, weeks later, Dan sees this guy who he didn't know before, but now he sees and spots him in his yard. But he ran up to him and said, "You're not a nice person for doing what you did to me." And the guy, his name is, and Koshin starts cursing at him, and he pulls out a weed whacker, a weed eater. You know what the weed eater is? It's one of those poles, and on the end of it, it's got that string that goes 1,000 miles an hour around.
Throat.
That sucker hurts.
That
Yeah.
thing,
Put your eye
that thing
out.
takes down trees.
Yeah.
So he goes after poor Dan with his. Dan turns around, goes, "Oh, shit," and he starts running for his truck to get out of there. And the other guy follows him behind it and just slices up the back of his legs and his ass and his back and everything. Just goes to town on him. And oh my God! So finally, this guy, so our hero here, Dan Lorick, turns around and jumps on him and knocks down Koshin to the ground so he can save himself. And a neighbor runs over and takes the weed whacker eater thing away from him, and that sort of settles that. But he goes lately. So they talked to Lorick later. He goes, "I have 74 cuts on my legs, 3 on my back, and 3 bumps on my head."
Oh my God.
It looks like he got into a fight with a wild animal, like he was in a small closet with a grizzly bear. That's what he looks
I want to
like.
know how old are these guys?
That didn't say, but
That's right. Oh my God.
Millennials.
I got to tell you, weed whackers, lesson always learned of weed whacking, do not wear shorts when weed whacking. Oh my God, that is like afterwards everything flies around and just gets into your legs. It's like, hello.
That's like that thing at the beginning of the show. You don't want any weed whacker or a drum near your crotch. That's for sure.
Well, there you go.
This guy, so Dan at the end of this said, "Now every time I hear a weed eater, I start to cringe." He goes,
Yeah, no.
"I've taken a lot of Neosporin and a leave." Of course you have. That was a good story there. Thank you for that. Thank you for being Fordian and Floridian and doing stupid things. We appreciate
Keep it up. Everybody in Florida, just keep it up. Because we love
don't disappoint
no,
us.
we love the crazy shit you
Oh,
come
I
up
forgot
with.
to do one line. The caution, the guy that went nuts with the weed eater told police officers, he goes, I knew the weed eater would hurt him, but it wouldn't hospitalize him. Yeah,
Well,
right.
good. Oh, okay, buddy, then we'll let you go.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, you go home now. Okay.
Terrible.
Thank you, everybody, for listening in today. This was a good show. It's funny. Subscribe. If you subscribe, Mike will challenge Granny Guns to an arm wrestling contest.
That's right.
I'm betting on Granny Guns because Mike is as weak as
Keep it up.
weak as a child.
Keep it up. Allison is not going to appreciate these continuing attacks on me.
Allison, we'll see. We'll see what Allison has to say.
She loves my shirt, by the way.
Huh?
The blue
Oh,
shirt.
God. You wore the blue shirt.
Absolutely.
I wore a masculine shirt that says United States on it.
Yeah, that's pathetic. Where'd you get that, at a thrift shop?
No, I got it online.
It's terrible.
Amazon.
It's terrible. I'm glad you thought.
Temu.
I'm glad you think so much of Paul and me that you can't even wear a collared shirt to do the show.
The people want to see all my
I want
neck.
to see
and
that
its full
turkey
glory.
neck, that
Oh,
dewlap.
my God.
In the cattle business, we call that a dewlap.
Do that.
That sounds terrible, by the way, a dewlap. Oh, man.
Let's get out of here so we don't hear any more from Jake, okay?
Please email us, oldpeoplethisweek@gmail.com. Send us videos, send us critiques, send us comments. Allison, you are free to send anything you want.
Absolutely.
But just don't say anything about that blue shirt, for crying out loud. Our Substack last week, go to our Substacks 52tasks.substack.com. Last week, Paul talked about his cool as hell dad and his job with Boeing and that whole experience. That was cool.
Yeah,
And
that was
next
cool.
week we're going to get into something a little heavier that I'll bring up.
Cool.
And that's about it. So everyone take care. Have a nice world for the next week, and we'll see you then.
All
Adios.
right. Take care. Thanks for watching.
Bye, everyone.
Or I should say, stay tuned now for Reese Thomas, the old craggy old man.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if anybody stays around for him, but
They should.
and I keep telling, like, hey, Reese, listen. I go, let me send you the rundown, and then make your statement about something that might fit in with the show.
No.
He sends it to me before he gets the rundown, so I go, all right, fine. All right, here we go.
Well, you can, you know what, you can tee it up with Thursday is the beginning of baseball season, so he can tie it in with that.
I'm going to use what you just said and all of this.
Speaking of, did
All
you
right.
see that contract that the Mets gave
Yeah.
$765 million?
Yeah.
How much of it's guaranteed?
I don't know. What, Paul, was it? Like a 25-year contract or something?
Yeah.
Staggering.
It's all time. They get higher and higher and higher.
Well, Kimmel was funny when he was talking about that contract the other night. He said, so, go to a Mets game now? The way they're going to amortize this? Beer, $200.
Right. Probably so.
All right, everybody. This is the official goodbye.
Yeah. Goodbye. Take care.
Here's the old people this week quote of the week. You better cut that pizza into 4 pieces, because I'm not hungry enough to eat 6. Yogi Berra.